Summer is here, which means we all want to look and feel our best. A GLP-1 may be right for you. Visit orderlymeds.com to learn more about which GLP-1 you could be eligible for. Getting started is fast, easy, and happens virtually through telemedicine from licensed professionals. Check it out for yourself. Go to orderlymeds.com/podcast. That's orderlymeds.com/podcast. Taking care of yourself feels great. Compounded medications are not FDA approved. Eligibility required and determined by a licensed provider. Individual results may vary. See website for details.
Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Inside Out Smile. I'm your host, Dr. Ampu, and today I'd like to share a story with you. A story of an event which literally just occurred. Da da da! Now, it involves a intruder in my house. I say intruder, it was of the 8-leg variety. And it's been hanging around for a few days, and I've been trying to ignore it. When I've seen it, I've been staring at it as I inch my way around the room, And, it was kind of medium-sized. And initially I was like, yeah, just ignore it. Just ignore it, right? So then what happened was that eventually, I was just like, I can't carry on like this because I'm kind of moving around my house with fear, a little bit of fear, right? And so I decided to involve my neighbour. My neighbour is lovely. He's very, very gentlemanly. And so I called upon his services this evening, and he came to speak to the so-called intruder, because I tried to catch the intruder. I tried in the humane way to catch the intruder with the special spider catcher that I have. And it was too fast for me, quite frankly. And then I was just like, I've just reached my limit. So I called my neighbour, and thankfully he wasn't on holiday. And or a sporting event or something. And he very kindly popped over, and he had a little bit of it was a bit tricky for him to catch said 8-legged intruder. And it took a little while, and I ended up like screeching, and shrieking. And I was in another room. I was like, I can't even watch this. But thankfully, he caught it, right? He caught it. So I let him out, and I'm like, oh my God, because it was like such a fast mover, right? Anyway, and then he let it out. And then basically what happened, so this is a humane kind of a spider catcher. And so normally when I catch them, I, let them out, right? I let them out and I watch them kind of, walk off jauntily, and that's all great, right? Because I don't want them coming back to me on the day of judgment, right? So basically my neighbour, I was like, far away, can we just deposit said intruder far away? So my lovely neighbour's walking down the road to deposit the spider, right? And then he came back, handed me the spider catcher, and we're having a chat. We're just talking about his next upcoming holiday, and we're just like nattering along, and I'm waving the spider catcher around, I'm like, oh yeah, blah blah blah, as we're chatting, and I'm gesticulating. And then I was just saying, well, thanks so much. And we were saying our goodbyes, and I was just kind of looking at this. Then I just kind of, was kind of like, okay, obviously I'd stopped gesticulating with the spider catcher, and I was kind of like, okay, great, thanks so much. And then suddenly I saw the said spider. I don't know why I keep using that terminology, but anyway, I've started, so I'll finish. So I saw the same spider exiting the spider catcher and starting to move along it towards me, and I was like, oh my gosh, it's still here. And then my neighbour had to take it from me, bless him, and then he moved further away and made sure that the spider was out. And then he was like, you should double check as well. And then I double checked, and I was like, yeah, it's definitely out. So that was a really, really clever spider. Anyway, we then kind of resumed our chat, and then we said our goodbyes. And I came in and I thought to myself, oh my gosh, I've got to tell everybody about this, because this is an episode that I would like to talk about. Because why am I like that? Having said that, I actually have smaller spiders in the kitchen right now, and I'm just trying to ignore them, right? I'm thinking they can live their life. And my neighbour was and I was mentioning this to my neighbour, and he actually said, yeah, but then you get loads of little baby ones running around. And I was like, yeah, I think that's already happened, because we had the parent, and I thought I would leave it alone, not knowing that it was a parent and they were going to have a family. And now there's several of them in the kitchen, and I'm kind of like, oh dear, what am I going to do? And they're babies, and they're too small to be in the spider catcher, so I've got to just live with them. And so that is my life at the moment. That is my life, because it's so hot in the UK that, and I think I may have mentioned that my dad was bitten by a spider recently. He had some bites, and I spoke with a professor who's a friend, and she was like, yep, there's a spider bites. And I think that's because the bedroom is the bedroom window, when it's open, the leaves of the fig tree are very close to the window, so something must have crawled off there. But yeah, so I mean, I don't know, why am I sharing this story? Is there a lesson in this story? No, there isn't really a lesson. What is the lesson? Well, the lesson is that be on great terms with your neighbours, and they can help you out with the bugs. I guess that's the lesson. But and I do feel very blessed, because I've got a lovely, lovely neighbour. And do you know what? It's really good fun having nice neighbours. It is really good fun having nice neighbours, because, you know, it's just good fun. You know, I enjoy it. Anyway, so yeah, that's all I wanted to share today, to be honest. So I was thinking about getting some like thriller sound effects, and then I was like, no, I would just, and then I was just thinking, no, I would just speak, and I would just, make it raw and unfiltered as usual. And that's it for this episode. Yep, it was just my story about a bug. And I don't know, I mean, obviously we're in the UK. I did see some massive dragonflies years ago when I used to have the door to the garden open, and I had my bird bath. But recently I've had such a problem with foxes. Yes, wildlife is just having a ball at my place. I had so many problems with foxes that I've not been able to fill the bird bath because my paving stones have collapsed because the foxes have dug a den. So there we go. So there's another little tidbit there from my life, but I don't know if that was of any interest to anybody, but I thought I would share that story. And I don't know how you feel about bugs, because I know in Australia and different countries and countries where it's warmer, there are lots of bugs, there are. And I don't know, I guess, I feel so much better about spiders now. And as I said, I kind of cope with a lot of them, but sometimes I do need to call my neighbour in, and he's great. He's my little, he's my, not that he's little, but he's my spider catching hero, which is lovely. And so I do feel very grateful for that. I'm sorry, I've just dropped a magnet. Why am I playing with a magnet and I don't know where it's gone? So there you go. That was a real sound effect. And yep, so I hope all of you are well and not bothered by bugs. I've just dropped the other magnet. Until the next episode, let's all create connection with nature, as I always say, and with, I don't know. Can you create connection with spiders? Some people say you will. You are able to do that. I don't have a connection with them personally. But anyway, well, of course, that they have a right to live wherever they want to live, I guess. That's their right. As God created them to. But anyway, let's all create connection and not just change lives, but save lives. Yep, even spiders.